Welcome to this session on what is innovative teaching. As we said, this is a program about teaching innovatively, and we are going to have a few very short sessions on focused topics. And then after seeing this video and then noting some of the points that are raised there, you will apply yourself to translate this into your own context, because you'll be teaching different subjects to different classes in different contexts, and therefore each of them has scope for doing things innovatively. So let's begin with first things first. So innovative teaching. Innovative teaching is, teaching innovatively. What else can it be? And what it means is that this is different from a traditional way in which you would have been teaching. Now, this itself can vary. For example, where traditionally people teach on a blackboard and chalk, largely with the teacher in a kind of what is called professionally a didactic mode, then using computers or interactivity or role playing will be considered innovative. If you look at, for example, a Korean situation where everybody is on the internet all the waking hours, they're suddenly going out to a farm or to an actual place and doing things without use of computers, with crayons and paper and pencil, may seem very innovative. So one thing to remember is that there is no single definition of innovation. Innovation is whatever is different but enhances the teaching, and we will be talking in the next few sessions about what kind of enhancements and benefits we are seeing. So now if we want to practice innovation, how would we do it? Will we imagine suddenly some dream will come to us of an idea, or is there a systematic way in which we can do innovation? And if you're looking at doing innovation in a systematic way, then it's not very far to go, because as professional teachers, you all studied various theories of learning. And one of the most well-known theories is the Behaviorist Theory of learning. This is what we practice largely at the school level, and much of the range from behaviorist to cognitivist to constructivist is the range in which we talk of learning situations. Robert Garnier is one of the most well-known person who designed the structure for behaviorist learning. So you would have done this in your teacher training program somewhere, that Robert Garnier, and this is spelled as G-A-G-N-E, has 9 steps which he says is common to any interaction of learning event. So no matter what subject you are teaching, you are actually following essentially 9 steps. The first step is gain attention, and I think this is very important, especially in school level learning, because you need to do. The gain attention can be by any such thing. It could be like the ringing of a bell, it could be by something else, a joke which is cracked or whatever. Then you inform learners of objectives. Then you stimulate recall of prior learning. Then you present the content. Then you provide learner guidance. Then you elicit performance, which is about practice. Then you provide feedback. Then you assess performance. And then you do something which enhances retention and transfers the learning to the context. So what is one trying to say? That any classroom experience really consists of the teacher designing these 9 events of instruction. Now let us imagine that you could do each of these events in 2 different ways. If you could do them in 2 different ways, then the number of different ways in which you can put together a class becomes something like 526. That is more than 500 ways of creating a class if for each event you choose only 2 ways. If you were to choose 3, 4, 5 ways of doing each event, then you are talking about millions of different ways in which you can do these things. So over the next few sessions, you will think of these. I will just share with you something which in the literature is becoming quite common in terms of innovative ideas. One of them is, for example, using of comic books. So you may use comics and animated stuff instead of the regular text. There's a concept of mind maps which was developed by Tony Buzan, which is used for explaining concepts. So when you're building concepts, you could be using mind maps. You could be using humor. Humor is a very important element of communication. Then there is something called mnemonics, where you use something which is there for you to memorize something. Then we have, of course, role play, and of course we have games. So you can have many of these kind of things. For each of those aspects, you can have a different one, and therefore you can have a whole variety of choice. What I just want to say, because this is the first session, towards summarizing what I'm trying to say, is that there's a very famous quotation from Confucius which says, I hear and I forget, I see and I believe, I do and I understand. So if during all these cycles you create certain activities where people actually do things, and we will of course ask you as part of our training to you to do certain things, then of course the understanding is highest. So after having heard this, I'm sure you've captured the essential points. Please take note of this and apply it to some of your context. See how you could take a particular lesson in maybe teaching a language, in mathematics, in science, in general studies, and see how you could apply this principle to change a normal class which you would have taught to a more innovative and interesting one. Thank you.